Okay, last game of the tournament. I am currently sitting at 1.5 out of 5, which isn't great. I could have easily been sitting on 4 out of 5, I think, drawing the first two, winning the next 3. I just had a middle game domination and basically managed to blunder it away in an endgame thrice. So let's see how I do in the last game. Oh, let's turn off the eval for a bit. Again I play Smith-Morra, and again we get this position, which I assumed was bad. Turns out not as bad, but it's really difficult to play. And my opponent played knight c6, I play c4 again. Knight f6, slightly different setup, but again fine. And I play bishop f4, which is one of the main points of the opening, that bishop f4 is allowed to put some pressure on on c7 with maybe a knight or something. G6, queen d2. Maybe this is a bit premature what I did, but like it worked. It's okay. Both of those moves are probably a bit premature, but I mean this is still weakness from my opponent, and I can play this and maybe do that. Castling queenside is not the greatest, but it isn't terrible actually. So what did I do? The king takes knight c3. I just developed, and I can castle queenside, and knight can go to d5 or b5 depending. Yeah, I think this is all. The opening is just. Wait. We're missing a move. D6 already happened like way back. I'm sorry. Wait, what? C4. Oh, sorry. There. Can I? There was a knight f3 d6 in between. My bad. C4. Knight 6 bishop g6 queen d2 bishop h6. No, sorry. Bishop g7 bishop h6 castle take. Sorry, this is the line. There was a knight f3 and d6 in between. That makes sense, otherwise there was a knight d4 and knight e5 maybe at times. Yeah, but now knight c3, bishop d7. This is why I got confused, because the next move was bishop d7, which makes no sense if there's a pawn on d7. But yeah, now I basically have a choice. This is the last choice of the opening. The opening went well. I have what's called a Maroczy bind. It's really difficult for black to play on the queen side because of this bishop and the pawn together. Mostly that this is really never a thing. B5 you can really never play. And this might actually also be a thing later, after e5 maybe, and I just own the center as well, so d5 is never a thing. So it's really difficult for black to find a way to play. I mean, if you want to play this for a draw as black, I think that's probably reasonably doable as well, but playing this for any sort of active play, you can at the cost of a pawn, or if the opponent, like in my game 4, gives it to you. But yeah, there's really nothing you can do as black to play for a win. Yeah, but I mean, I give you some chance as black, because I castle long, and maybe there's some play on the c pawn here. King b1 to get it out of this. Yeah, it's actually important that I play king b1. I didn't realize this in the game, but it's actually important. Is if I play something like h4, I believe the issue was knight a5, or no, it's knight b4, which is annoying. And this, something like that. And I can't prevent knight b4 either, because if I play this, if I play this, then knight a5, and that's losing. Actually, maybe you still have this. Pretty certain I was muted. I think you got lucky. So yeah, king b1. This move makes sense in multiple different areas, but it turned out to be a necessary move as well. But knight b4 still happens. But now it's not that big of a deal anymore. Bishop e2, and this isn't really a threat. My opponent does try with bishop e6. And here I found what I think is a nice move. My opponent didn't really care for it, but I had to calculate quite a bit, and I think everything works. I played knight d5 here. So let's look at why I would want to do that. So there's a second attack here, and it's not that easy to defend. G3 is always an option, but with my king on that side, I did not really want to do that. I think it should be fine, because I can put my queen on b2 and play that. But it's just I didn't want to play b3. And any other move is something like this. And then maybe, what was d5? Does that work? Attacked 4? No, it doesn't, because I attack it 5 times and they only defend it 4 times. Maybe queen c7, and then I still need to find something. But maybe queen d4 would have been fine. But I played knight d5 because I thought that was this was pretty strong. So what it also attacks this knight, of course, and it hangs the e pawn, but you can't actually take because of queen d4, and I pick up the piece. So you can take like this, after which I probably would have taken with the e pawn, although I'm not happy with it because there is something here. Oh, sorry. I needed to see that this is this is a possibility that works, because otherwise knight c2 and issues. So actually it isn't. Whoops. Now you do have to do this and this and here. Now I can play this, but then I lose an exchange. Okay, so I can't actually take if they take with like that. If I take with knight. Oh no, wait, it was this. And now you can't play rook c2 because the knight is hanging. You can play knight c2, but it doesn't do anything. And you just lose a piece here even. So on knight f takes, I would have to take with the c pawn. On knight b takes, I would take with the e-pawn, and then this is nothing. And now this pawn structure is great. I get a nice square d4 for my knight and for my queen, or c3 for my queen. I would have been pretty happy here. And the final other move is the move that happened in the game, bishop takes, which I never expected in a million years, because you just give me your bishop for a knight. And here I again needed to calculate, but I think I can take with the e-pawn and with the d-pawn, it's both fine. I did take with the e-pawn in the end. And there's still some pressure here, so my opponent played a5, and I kick it regardless, and now it goes to c5, and I can't stop that, but that's fine. I played queen d4, and now I'm starting to sort of build up an attack here. The knight is pinned, which is kind of relevant. And it's really difficult for my opponent to actually attack me as well, and so I have a lot of time to do whatever I want to do here. I thought this was pretty good for me. Knight c5. There was something funny I saw. Yeah, here, g4. No, wait, it wasn't here. So this threat is, there's kind of a threat to play knight e4, which is slightly annoying to put pressure here. There's also this, and knight b3, of course. So I was looking at knight d2. And after queen b6 I saw that I had knight e4, because both knights are pinned. And then I would probably trade here and put pressure here later. Not completely sure what I would have done. This didn't happen though. I played g4 because the knight is pinned, so not only can't you take, I also threaten g5. My opponent played king g8, and my opponent was really surprised by my next move, actually, what they mentioned, which, I mean, I already gave it to you. I played knight d2. Sorry, I played knight d2 here. But it defends the pawn with the bishop as well, and more notably, on g5, if the knight goes to h5, I just take it immediately, instead of allowing it to run to g7. And also, importantly, if something like this, I believe that's not what happened, but yeah, that wasn't what happened. I could play g5. This I'd take and I'd be pretty happy, and every other move I get just in time to play pawn h5, and this should be very good for me. Maybe I even sack the exchange here. This should be very good for me. So that's why I played knight d2. It also reroutes here in theory. There's no better way to reroute it, but so knight d2 is fine. And my opponent really didn't like that and played the move e5. Really didn't like g5. So yeah, no, this is the second en passant that is possible, and I take it again. So I played 2 en passant in my entire tournament, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. One of the downsides of knight d2 is that I no longer win the d-pawn immediately. However, that's okay. So there's knight takes e6. And here I mean my queen is hit, of course. Where can I even go? I can go there. I can go there. I can go these two, and that's it. So I mean this is bad. This is not the direction the game should be going. Despite it being maybe okay because you do put pressure. So, and I saw that queen e2 was just good. Or queen e3. With the point of preparing g5. And also maybe queen h6, but g5 was the main goal. Yeah, my opponent... it's really difficult for my opponent to find a move that defends against g5. You can maybe just move the knight to, I don't know where, d7, but then I insist. And this is hanging on g5 and knight f6. And queen here. So it's really difficult to hold this. My opponent didn't even try and play it, or didn't try to play it like that, and played d5 with the point of having a counterattack here and dislodging my queen from its good position, and now it's kind of meh on g3. It has one important square that it still retains, but other than that it's pretty bleh actually. And the knight actually did go to h5 and I immediately took, which seems very good for me. But now I am one thing you might have not realized is that the bishop was actually still defending c4. So now in this position also then this is a discovered attack on the pawn. So now this pawn is hanging and that pawn is hanging. You probably can't take g5. I looked at this and that and rook g1 and probably this is just over, but and actually you also can't take that after my next move, but I think oh, this pawn is actually defended by the knight. Ignore what I said. I need to defend this pawn and I played knight e4 and that undefends the pawn. So now my opponent can take. But they can't. But they did anyways. And I think it doesn't matter. I think the engine will claim that it doesn't matter, and I think the engine might claim that you should play queen c7 here. And then after knight f6 check, king g7, this. Maybe you still need to... I mean, I don't... Oh no, wait. Maybe king g6, and then... Oh no, this also losing. No, wait. You still have that. I guess it doesn't matter. So rook takes c4, knight f6 check, king g7, and this is a double attack, and there's nothing. So I win an exchange here. I only win an exchange because the only way to defend against queen h7 is to win a piece, basically. You have to take here, and then take here. That's the only play. I mean, this is kind of splitting hairs again, but I think queen e5 is very winning. Because, again, you can't do this. I mean, it's the same point. This is mate. And this... Maybe you can do this. Oh, wait. I mean, you can't do this, right? Yeah, okay. And I don't see another way to defend. And this doesn't help. And this is just mate in 1. So I think where was it? I think Queen e5 is just game over, because and if you don't, because King g6 is losing, and any other move I just have a discovered attack, which should just be winning, right? Maybe you get this, but then okay, this wins a piece, and it's probably also checkmate. Yeah, because I don't see how to defend this. Yeah, there's nothing. Okay, I missed the immediate win, but or actually I saw Queen e5, but I thought that I could gamble on something that was probably winning, or I could just win an exchange, and like, it's even worse than winning an exchange, because I trade queens here by force, which might not have even been accurate. Maybe rook g1 is better. But I mean, this is just, yeah, do I need to show the rest? I mean, it doesn't matter, because like, I just have an exchange and I'm going to move up and win, and then knight can't defend really. So I did win this game, and I end up at 2.5 out of 6, which is a good score, especially considering that even this opponent had a rating of like 18-20. So every single one of my opponents had a higher rating than me. On average, I think my opponent's rating was 1880 on average or something, and I got 2.5 points. And I should have had 5 if I played better. If I had a rating of 1900, I would have had 5 out of 6 here. I think this is the difference between my rating of 1800 and, well, 19, maybe even 2000. If I understand endgames better and don't screw them up as much, I think I can easily get to 1900, maybe even 2000. Yeah. But yeah, endgames are difficult. It's my next focus. I've looked at gambits, which basically invalidated the need for an endgame, but I didn't manage to play a single gambit this tournament. But yeah, in normal classical games I should learn how to play endgames, and then I'll be way better, way stronger. And that's gonna be my next task. I'll find a way to train endgames somehow. So let's take a look at how I did. Yeah, this is pretty good for me. I did a slight different order, but whatever, it's all fine. Yeah, there is bishop g4 again, just like in last game, but it's fine. I'll just take it. Or I'll just let my opponent take. Yeah. Yeah, this was a bit premature, I assumed. And mostly because I wasn't sure if I wanted my queen on h6. And I guess I was right, but this trade is good. And now castle long. Yeah, engine doesn't like it, but I like it, because it's really hard for my opponent to play. Again, bishop g4 makes sense to me, but I mean, I can just defend, right? Yeah, now I'm already better. h4, okay. b3 was good. Knight d5 it considers way worse, but it's really tricky. Yeah, knight b takes. I assumed was the best move, and I assumed knight f takes. Oh no, wait, that has this issue, of course. And you just win a piece. And knight takes e4 was bad, and bishop takes is bad, so knight b takes does work, and then I have to take with the e pawn. And then bishop, yeah, this is just an e5, okay. Engine apparently likes this. I can kind of see it. I can probably win this pawn, but it's difficult. But I mean, bishop takes is probably the bad move, the best or the worst move. I take with the e pawn because c takes. He maybe gets rook c2 issues. A5, knight d4 I considered, but I wanted my queen there actually, which apparently is way worse because of the move e5 and sacking a pawn. Right? I mean, you win the pawn back. Oh, not c6, b6. Rook, it's fine. I guess this isn't good. But yeah. Knight d2. Yeah, no. g5 immediately. Allowing knight e4. That's also fine. Wait. But what if hit here? I mean, there's nothing. Oh, I can still kind of sack and exchange later on. I mean, e5. Yeah, and I can't really get to this diagonal anymore, so h6 isn't good. And it doesn't matter because of f6 anyways. But yeah, knight d2 is great. e5, take is fine. Queen e3, g5. Yes, I'm only a touch better apparently here, which is shocking. Okay, yeah, you have to go to d7 to prevent queen e5, but then still knight e4, right? d3. Fascinating that I can't take with the bishop. Ah, okay. Fair enough. I lose the g pawn then. That's the point. And bishop f3, then it's just a slightly better version. Okay. But this is just very winning. Knight e4 is the only way to win it though. Does engine really not hate? Or does really hate this? No, it's fine, it doesn't matter. The move is queen d3. Really? Oh, I could have of course won a pawn. Wait. Yeah, could have done this. Yeah, this is way better. And then take with the rook. Like. Yeah. Wait, yeah, okay. And win the piece as well. Okay, I mean, it doesn't matter because this is also winning. This is also very, very winning. And yeah. The game, if you want to know, the game continues for another 11 moves from here. and then my opponent resigned. Because basically we traded everything off. My king got really active and the opponent's king got stuck here. And yeah, I believe at in the end position I had a rook versus a knight, and I was up a pawn and my king was here and their king was there. So it's just over. Okay, good tournament. Maybe next time I'll learn endgames and actually win it. We'll see. Because actually, I believe 5 out of 6 would have been very good as a result. And maybe like, I mean like near the top. Near the top of the entire standings. Yeah, that was it. Next competition game, team game, is in early March. I believe the 8th of March I'll play again. Should be on a Saturday. And then, I don't know, I'll recap that in probably the Thursday after. I don't really have that much time in between. See you there.